Hello everyone. Good evening. Okay. So guys, SQL we have covered. Okay. Today we'll start with the ETL as well as Power BI. Okay. So how to download Power BI? I will share you the file how to download it. It's very simple. You just go to the Microsoft Store and download Power BI Desktop. Very simple. Okay, guys, business intelligence are the tools currently that we have in the market, wherein wherein one of the tool is called Power BI, basically wherein you can get data from n number of data sources. For example, we've been working for a very long time on SQL. You can get data from CSV, uh, text, uh, Excel, you name it, Azure services, and you name it, and that particular thing you can get data from. Okay, so that is why it is a very powerful tool, and it has changed the dynamic of real-time monitoring, real-time analysis. Okay, a lot of companies are using Power BI as a tool to visualize, and lot of people who currently working as a Power BI developer are getting good salary because they are making business easy in terms of taking decisions. So what data analysts do or a Power BI analyst do is get the data, transform the data, and get the insights from the data so that businesses can take a decision on that. So, what are the positive points? What are the negative points? And neutral analysis can be done on a data, and on the basis of that, businesses can take a decision. As rightly said by Aman, it becomes easy for uh, for a business to take a decision on the basis of report. Earlier, it was very difficult. Excel has a lot of limitations, but you can't compare Excel to Power BI. Power BI is a very powerful tool, and Excel is just 5-10% of Power BI. Okay. So let me just share my screen wherein I will just brief you about the architecture of Power BI. Okay. So guys, here I can see the architecture of Power BI wherein if you would just see on the left hand side of this particular picture, you see data sources. Okay. So Power BI is a very powerful tool and it can take data. Data means the data that we have seen in SQL, Excel. Okay. Basically, you get data in structured manner into Power BI. Okay. So you work on structured data mostly in Power BI. So Power BI can take data from n number of data sources, SQL, Oracle, uh, MySQL, CSV, Azure services, SSAS, semantic models, basically, which we will see in near future. So you name it, and that particular database can be connected to Power BI, and you can get you can do analysis on that particular data. Okay, so here, if you just see the first layer, the data is that is the data source wherein data is imported to Power BI. Okay, wherein you do analysis. After analysis, once the report has been done, it should be sent. The report has been sent. It has been published to a cloud-based service which is called as Power BI service. Okay, that is why you just see it as a cloud. Okay, so Power BI desktop is basically you can download it in your local machine. Okay, shouldn't be a problem, and you don't need internet for this Power BI desktop. But as and when you have to publish the report, because you have to deliver this report to your end user, which can be your client, your stakeholders, or your upper management if you are making an internal Power BI report. Okay, so this is the flow that has been followed in Power BI, and this is the structure, Power BI structure. So you get data from n number of data sources. You do reporting. Basically, you make charts, you make DAXs, you do all the necessary requirement as per the client BRD reports. BRD reports is basically business reports, basically wherein you get all the information about the project that you're working on, which clients give you basically, and on the basis of that you make report out of it, and as soon as the report is been done, you publish that report to a cloud based service which is called Power BI service, and then you deliver this report to the end user. Okay, so majorly the major components of Power BI are there, that is power Power BI desktop, Power BI service, and there's one more very important component of Power BI. It is called as Power Query Editor. Okay. And you must be wondering, guys, what is Power BI report server, which we will cover in the near future. First, we need to understand the actual. what do you say, hierarchy of Power BI. This we will see on the later part. Before that, I want you guys to understand the common functionality of Power BI and also what is ETL. So ETL stands from extract, transform, and load. Okay. So moreover, whenever we get data, not necessarily every time the data is structured. Okay. Lot of time the data is not structured. That is why we have to clean the data. Okay. So that we can do reporting on that. We can do reporting on that. So the process of cleaning and massaging the data basically is called as ETL, wherein you extract the data from the sources, wherein and you transform. Basically, you clean the data. Okay, you clean the data and you load the data basically. So in our case, if we consider Power BI, we load the data into Power BI desktop so that we can do analysis on that. We can make reports out of that. So in layman language, whenever we have to do cleaning of the data, it is called as transform. Okay, so we extract data from different data sources. Okay, and we transform the data and we load the data so that we can do the analysis. So currently, just understand what is ETL. Basically, ETL is a tool. Okay, or intermediate step wherein the data has been transformed and it is getting into a structured format so that we can do the analysis. Okay, just give me let me just give you some more information about what is okay. So for instance, if I'm considering Power BI, okay, so Power BI desktop, which we will be working on. Okay, and whenever Power BI report is done, okay, we will publish that report into Power BI service. Okay, PB is Power BI. Okay, Power BI service. Okay, wherein we will share this report to our end user. Okay, but before that, before getting into Power BI desktop, now we have one more functionality called as Power Power Query Editor. Okay, which is an internal tool of Power BI. Okay, so if you want some transformation that has to be done, so before getting into Power BI desktop, we get the data into Power Query Editor so that we can transform the data. Okay, transform the data into structured format. Okay, if we have null values and if we have duplicate values and spelling mistakes are there, whatever changes we have, if you want to append the data, group the data, whatever changes we have to do so that we can do easy transformation so that we can easily make a report out of it, out of the data. So the transformation step is basically the Power Query Editor, which is also called as ETL tool for Power BI. Okay, apart from that, okay, before, see, there's we are getting data from either Excel, for example, either Excel or SQL Server. Okay, okay, or any other data source, others. Okay, so what ETL, there's just like that, we have ETL tool in Power BI desktop also. There are ETL tools in the market as well, guys. Okay, okay, which data engineers work on. Okay, wherein we'll be learning that tool, one of the tool called as ADF. Okay, so before getting into this database, these ETL developers, okay, work on that data and they structure the data into a format wherein it is easy for us to make reports on that. So, and if at all there are some changes still left after doing all the transformation before getting to database, we do the smaller transformation into our Power BI, which is called as Power Query Editor. Okay, don't worry, guys, don't get confused. We will practically see it. Just get the overview of it. So, guys, this is the Power BI desktop that everybody of you guys will download. Okay, can you see this, guys? We have a Power ribbon wherein you can see you can get data from both different types of data sources. Basically, Excel, data flows, data words, SQL सर्वर जो हमने देखा था basically, text, CSV. ठीक है, so जब data इस पे लाने से पहले we do some transformations, guys. Okay, उसको बोलते हैं ETL. If I take an example, if I'm getting this data, ठीक है, I'm pressing on Excel workbook, and I'm getting data. ठीक है, sample store. ठीक है, let me just take a bike data. Okay, guys, this is the data wherein from get data, if I click, I will get to see the data. Guys, can you see the data is structured? Correct? Data is structured. इसमें कुछ issue नहीं है. I'm getting the preview of the data. Can you see नीचे load, transform data and cancel? Correct? So if you don't want to make any changes into a data, if your data looks structured and everything is good, you will just load data. But in case if you think you have to do some transformation, some modification into your data, you will go on transform data. So guys, I have pressed transform data. So the screen will be moved to Power Query Editor, which I was telling. Can you see this Power Query Editor, which is a part of Power BI? Power BI is divided into three parts: Power Query Editor, Power BI Desktop, and Power BI Service. That is the structure of Power BI. Wherein, if you feel that data is not structured, basically, the rows and columns are not in a required manner, हमारे हिसाब से डेटा नहीं है, इसके लिए हमको उस पर कुछ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन करने पड़ेंगे. इसके लिए हम डेटा को पावर क्वेरी एडिटर में लेके आते हैं. वी गेट द डेटा इनटू पावर क्वेरी एडिटर so that we perform necessary actions on that, so we make the data structured and we can make reports out of it. उस पे visuals बना सकते हैं so that business can take a decision. Okay, so internally हमारे पास ये tool है. Okay, ज्यादा करके overall we get a structured data only, we'll directly load. छोटा मोटा अगर हमको ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन करना है, we will come back to the screen. See, if all the transformation has been done na, we will see close and apply. ठीक है, so this screen will get closed and you'll be taken back to the same screen once again. So there are pending changes in your query. I went to Power Query Editor screen. I have not done any changes, but if any changes are there, you can see apply changes, and accordingly that changes will reflect into your Power BI desktop. Guys, don't worry, पहले दिन इतना डर मत जाना, but just observe what I am teaching. Just understand the basics of Power BI so that it becomes easy for you to understand and make reports out of it. So we have got data through get data. So through get data, guys, you can get data into Power BI desktop and you can do reporting out of it, and you can just submit this report to the Power BI to the end user. जब हमको रिपोर्ट सबमिट करनी पड़ती है किसी को ना, so हम लोग Power BI सर्विस, can you see a button called as publish here, guys? So as and when, if we just see if our report has been done, हमारी रिपोर्ट बनने के बाद हम लोग क्लाउड बेस्ड एप्लीकेशन पे उसको पब्लिश करते हैं, which is called as Power BI service. So primarily Power BI Power BI is divided into three parts: Power Query Editor, which is an ETL tool, internal ETL tool; Power BI Desktop, this is the Power BI Desktop; and Power BI Service, wherein we publish the reports. So Power Query Editor, which is PQE in the short form, which is Power Query Editor. Then we have Power BI Desktop. Okay. Then we have Power BI Service. Okay. So guys, Power BI Desktop में जब डेटा आता है, Power BI Desktop में डेटा आता है, ओके, ये डेटा भी है ना, इस पे भी डेटा आने से पहले, जैसे सीक्वल सर्वर में डेटाबेस में डेटा आता है ना, वो भी ट्रांसफॉर्म होके आता है, स्ट्रक्चर्ड वे में आता है बेसिकली. गॉट इट? उसको स्ट्रक्चर्ड वे में आने से पहले डेटा इंजीनियर्स कम इनटू पिक्चर एंड दे ट्रांसफॉर्म द डेटा. ओके, जब डेटा आता है ना, तो डेटा इंजीनियर्स उस पर काम करते हैं, उस पर ईटीएल करते हैं, ताकि जो डेटा है स्ट्रक्चर्ड वे में आए। गॉट इट? सो डेटा इंजीनियर्स वर्क ऑन द डेटा। जैसे हमने कोई एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म भरा गाइस, आप गूगल गूगल शीट भरते हो, गूगल फॉर्म भरते हो, यू राइट योर डिटेल्स, करेक्ट? तो डेटा डिटेल्स कहीं पर जाके स्टोर होती हैं, एंड इट इज ऑलवेज नॉट इन अ स्ट्रक्चर्ड मैनर। Okay, so whenever the data is not in a structured manner, semi-structured manner, okay, ETL developers come into picture and they make the necessary changes। उसमें जरूरी चेंजेस करके डेटा हम लोग के डेटाबेस में लेके आते हैं, विच कैन बी योर सीक्वल सर्वर, जिस पे हम लोग काम किया अभी, विच कैन बी योर Excel or any data sources. They ETL developers get it into databases. Data engineers बोलो या ETL developers बोलो, they work on this and they get the data into databases in a structured manner। फिर भी आपको लगता है कि अगर छोटा मोटा कुछ चेंजेस करना है आपको ना, जैसे एक कॉलम है वो मुझे नहीं चाहिए, ठीक है, डुप्लीकेट वैल्यूज है मुझे नहीं चाहिए, मुझे कुछ लोगों को ग्रुप बाय करना है बेसिकली, वहां पर कुछ कॉलम्स को, कुछ वैल्यूज को ग्रुप बाय करना है, वो जो अपने हिसाब से मुझे प्रोजेक्ट के रिक्वायरमेंट के हिसाब से अगर मुझे कुछ चेंजेस करना है, देन स्मॉलर चेंजेस आई विल डू इट इन पावर क्वेरी एडिटर, विच इज ऑल्सो एन ETL tool of Power BI, but it is not strong as the ETL tools that we have, that data engineers work। So apart from that, ये पावर क्वेरी एडिटर वी हैव सेपरेटली, जैसे पावर BI डेस्कटॉप एक टूल है ना, हमारे पास ETL टूल्स भी होते हैं। जैसे उसमें एक टूल हो गया SSIS, SQL Server Integrated Studio। Okay, then we have Informatica। Okay, and then we have ADF, which is covered in our syllabus। Okay, which is Azure Data Factory। ओके, सो जो डेटा समझ लो कौन सी भी रैंडम जगह से आया, बट वो स्ट्रक्चर्ड वे में नहीं है, तो पहले डेटा है ना यहाँ पर जाएगा एजोर डेटा फैक्ट्री में, फॉर एग्जांपल, या तो इंफॉर्मेटिका या SSIS। दीज आर द ETL टूल्स। Okay, these are the ETL tools। So the data engineers or ETL developers, okay, any of them will work on the data, and they will you make use of this tool and make the data structured so that you can send this data to database। गॉट इट गाइस? डेटा आता है कहां से भी आ गया, समझो स्ट्रक्चर्ड वे में नहीं है, उसके लिए फिर वी यूज अ टूल कॉल्ड एज ETL टूल, विच कैन बी एनी ऑफ द टूल, डिपेंड्स अपॉन फ्रॉम कंपनी टू कंपनी। ओके, वो डेटा हम लेके आए डेटाबेस में, डेटाबेस में से डेटा आता है पावर BI डेस्कटॉप में। फिर भी आपको लगता है देर आर सम चेंजेस नीड्स टू बी डन ऑन द पावर BI डेस्कटॉप, ऑन द पावर on Power BI, you do that changes into the ETL tool of Power BI, which is called as Power Query Editor। Okay, is it clear so far, guys? What is ETL tool separately and what is ETL tool in Power BI desktop? Have you understood, guys, the concept behind ETL tool क्या होता है, and Power BI का भी एक Power BI के बाद छोटा ETL tool है। See, मैं आपको ना एक सिंपल लैंग्वेज में बताता हूँ। डेटा हमारे पास बहुत जगहों से आ रहा है, ठीक है, N नंबर ऑफ जगहों से जा रहा है, वो हम लोग इंटरेस्टेड नहीं है वो जानने में, ठीक है, हमारा इंटरेस्ट है पावर BI डेस्कटॉप में। But you should know what is the backend work। Okay, if somebody is asking you what is in ETL, how it has been done, what, just name few ETL tool, so you should be able to answer this question so that you stand out from the crowd who doesn't know what is ETL। वो सबको लगता है कि सिर्फ पावर क्वेरी एडिटर ETL है। इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट सर। सो बेसिकली डेटा कम्स एवरी टाइम, यू डोंट गेट अ स्ट्रक्चर डेटा, कभी सिर्फ रोज में आ गया, कॉलम्स में आ गया। स्ट्रक्चर डेटा बेसिकली होता है टेबल्स में, इन रोज एंड कॉलम्स। So basically, every time you can't expect the data should be in structured. So as and when the data is not structured, data engineers or ETL developers work on that data to make the data structured, proper rows columns में लेके आएंगे। So they get the data into tabular form, which is rows and columns, as we have learnt in the SQL lectures, wherein the data is structured, then the data is getting into the databases। फॉर इंस्टेंस डेटा SQL सर्वर में आया, बट पहले उसमें कुछ वी हैव डन सम ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, using the ETL tool, okay, which can be your ADF, which is Azure Data Factory, Informatica, and SSIS. These are few ETL tools in the market. Whichever company is compatible with, they use that particular ETL tool in their organization, and accordingly, their data has been transformed. Okay, so as soon as the data has been transformed, it is made in a structured manner. It is gotten into gotten into databases. For instance, we've been working from last 5 days on SQL Server. So that data is getting into SQL Server, and from SQL Server, we will get the data into Power BI Desktop and do reporting on that data. Still, if some data is not in a required manner, okay, we will do small transformation in Power Query Editor, which is a part of Power BI. Okay, guys, that is why these transformations, insertion, and everything, what has been done, no? It has been done by the ETL developers or data engineers. But you guys should know, you got to know, guys, I have taught you DML, DDL. Okay, these concepts are very important because you as data analyst, you should be knowing where the data is coming from. That is why I've given 1 or 2 days on that thing. Data आता कैसे है? Just, just like we created data, there are n number of platform wherein we get data from, which is not in a proper format. So we do all the transformations and we get into databases. Got it? And if you want to cross check the data, we will do SQL statements wherein we'll see the sum, the minimum salary or maximum salary, or whatever is the requirement. We will just cross check the data after getting the data into databases. Okay, so ये सब तामझाम data engineers लोग करते हैं. हमारा काम है, our work is for reporting. We get the data into Power BI Desktop and we do necessary reporting. So guys, this is Excel, which is also database, which is RDBMS. Just like SQL servers is, sorry, DBMS. Uh, RDBMS is SQL Server, MySQL. These are RDBMS, wherein there is a relationship between tables. Currently, this is Excel, and we are working on data. Guys, just see the data. This is row, order ID, order date. Okay, ship date, ship mode, customer name, segment, country, city, state, postal code, region, ID, category, product name, sales, quantity, profit. Okay, basically it's a e-commerce data wherein they are selling a lot of objects, is lot of products in their portal basically. Okay, this is the e-commerce data. So when I just see the data, the first thing that comes into my mind, that on what things the businesses work on. So the first thing that comes into my mind, what is the sales, what is the quantity, what is the profit the company's been making. Okay, wherein most of the data analysts work on. So these are called your KPIs, wherein you get to know where your business is heading. So for instance, if I'm running a small pani puri shop, okay, and in the day one, what will the first thing that will come into my picture, like how much, what was my sale, okay, then what will be my profit, and how many what do you say, types of pani puris I have sold, how many plates of pani puris I have sold. So these will be the KPI, which is the key performance indicator for the business. So a single aggregated value is called as KPIs. It can be also like how many types of category we have, subcategory we have, number of product we have, and number of customers that we have. Okay, so these becomes your KPI, guys. Okay, so numbers of customers will become your portal, and it also becomes your KPI, that how many customers are buying. Okay, monthly, how many customers are increasing, how many repeat customers do you have. So you do analysis on that. So whenever you look for a data, a data has been given to you, always look for the KPI, wherein you get to know where your business is heading. So for instance, I will just give you one example. Okay, I'm a medical representative. Okay, I'm an MR. Okay, and I have a lead also. Okay, okay, and we have regions such as East, West, North, and South. Okay, so these are the regions, and MR, basically medical representative, are working on that those particular regions. So sales. Okay, so the MR person who's working on East region is making a profit of 50%. Okay, and this person is making a profit of 30. Okay, just assume these are some random values. This is making 20, and South region MR is actually not doing any profit. It's on negative marking. Okay, so can you guys see 80 plus 80 plus 20? This is 100, but I can see a minus 70. So in spite of the fact that I'm making profit in three regions, which is East, West, and South, East, West, and North, but South is giving me a negative value. So overall, the profit will be affected, and it's going to be only 30% profit. 30 profit. Profit is 30. Okay. So you being a data analyst, you whenever the report has been given to you and you do the analysis on that, so you can see that I have generating a good amount of profit from East, West, and North, but the thing is that South is not making a profit. It is on negative. So rather than we should be working on that. Okay, we should work on South so that we can reduce the loss. Okay, so that the profit will be increased. So because in spite of the fact the three regions are performing, they are performing decent, but South region is underperforming, is performing horrible, and that is why the sale has gone minus 70. Okay, so uh, the data analyst works on three parameters: positive analysis, okay, negative analysis, okay, and neutral report. Okay, so a data analyst basically works on these 3 points. So he will also showcase the positive points, wherein if you just see East, West, North regions are making a good profit. But where we are lacking its negative part, basically South, wherein we are doing a loss of 70, and it is affecting our total profit. So we making 100 rupees profit is deducted because of this minus 70 loss, which is affecting our total profit, which is a negative analysis. So we give negative analysis, positive analysis. On the basis of that, we make a neutral report. Always keep these things in mind and accordingly make a report. And so the business decision, the stakeholders or your manager, see, our part is just to give them reports. We talk on data. Okay, so we give them a reality check. See, this is the thing, this is going negative, this is going positive, you need to work on that so that the sales will be increased. Okay, so you can just put their inputs, the decision that has been taken, they will take it. You are no one to take a decision, you just have to guide them. Say this is the thing, and this is how the business looks like. So we need to work on the negative points as well, because these three regions are working pretty much good. Okay, so this is how the analysis has been done. And always look for data, look for the KPIs, which is called as key performance indicator, wherein you get to know where your business is actually running. Key performance indicator. So for instance, if I just see the total is 30, is also a okay, this is actually a profit. If you just see, okay, profit 30, because this is happening because you have to consider the overall sales. You just can't consider only three region sale. South is also a part of that particular company. No, people are working for them also. So a company works as a whole. So one region is not working, it is also affecting the other regions which are doing well. But overall, so for instance, if I'm appearing for 10 standard, the overall result of 10 standard will depend upon how many student pass, also how many student fail, will give you the total number of percentage a college will get if two students have failed in 10th examination. Their result will go little lower as compared to a school or a college who have 10% of result when all the people have passed. Okay, hope you're getting the difference what I'm trying to say. At least you would have got an idea how the analysis has been done in real time scenarios. Everybody knows that we have come from a very difficult situation called as COVID. if I take a consideration if I take an example of COVID, number of patients, oxygen level, bed available, recovery, mortality rate, recovery rate, the amount of people who are getting oxygens, the amount of oxygen pumps or medicines that we required will become your API, KPI basically. What is the death rate? If you just see, if you consider the example of COVID, guys, how many people are dying on a daily basis, how many oxygen pumps that we required on a daily basis, okay, do we have shortage of doctors? So all this thing which will contribute, wherein you can take wherein a hospital can take a decision what needs to be done, a data analyst will come into picture. And we had instances wherein we have made reports on COVID as well in a lot of hospitals, wherein the what are the shortage that we have, how to overcome that shortage basically. And on the basis of that, uh, uh, the government or other facilities will provide all the resources that has been needed to the hospital. And we being an overpopulated country, we were short of lot of the medicines and everything. Okay, so all these points, whenever a business is running, all these points are come into consideration, and it has been portrayed by a data analyst, so that that particular business, be it be hospital, be it be your office, be it be any stakeholder who has given some project to your company, and you have to make report out of it. So guys, just understand, just currently understand, we will definitely work on Power BI. I am just giving you how it, in real time the project works, how is the requirement, and how we have to work on it. Again, I'm sharing the same screen, okay, wherein if you could just see, this is a e-commerce data basically. समझ लो कोई भी एक अपनी Amazon या Flipkart या कोई भी एक वेबसाइट है फॉर एग्जांपल, एंड वहां पर ये सब प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, एंड ये सब बेसिकली एक सेल्स का डैशबोर्ड वो है, अब डेटाबेस, जहां पर रो वाइज ऑर्डर है, शिप डेट है, जो शिप मोड अपना होता है, जैसे हम लोग को इंस्टेंट डिलीवरी चाहिए, 2 दिन के बाद नॉर्मल डिलीवरी चाहिए, एक्सप्रेस डिलीवरी चाहिए। सो दैट ऑल्सो डिपेंड्स अपॉन द शिपमेंट मोड। कस्टमर, ठीक है, कस्टमर आईडी है बेसिकली ये, ठीक है, कस्टमर नेम है, ठीक है। सो इफ यू जस्ट सी कस्टमर आईडी इज लाइक CG, which is first name and the last name and 1250, okay. So it makes the unique ID, which is basically the first name and the last name and the customer ID. Got it? And also, uh, this uh, these are the orders basically are from United States, which is America. Okay, and he's from which city? Henderson. State is Kentucky. Postal codes and product code. Okay, got it? If you just see the product code also, the product code is FURBO, which means furniture, and subcategory क्या है? Boxes, and उसका एक unique code. Got it? And the product name is basically Bush Somerset Collection bookcase. Got it? Which is actually a bookcase. Okay, and this is the sale, that was a sale. This is the sales price, okay, quantity, and the discount, and the profit that we have got for that particular product. So इस बंदे ने, फॉर इंस्टेंस क्लेयर गूट ने ऑर्डर किया था ये बुक केस फ्रॉम हेंडरसन केंटकी, ओके, एंड we have got this much of profit on that particular product. So basically, this is the list of the product. This is the list of the customers, and as it's a basically e-commerce uh, database wherein we have to do analysis. So सबसे ज्यादा इस database में क्या important रहेगा कि what is the total sales, correct? What is the quantity that has been sold so far? Okay, wherein we will do summation, sum of all the quantities, wherein we'll get the idea what is the total amount of quantity that has been sold. We will also get the total number of sales that we have done. Okay, and if you want to do analysis on the monthly basis, we can also do the analysis on monthly basis. And if you want to do this analysis on a whole database, we'll get to also see that also, क्वांटिटी कितनी ऑर्डर हुई, प्रॉफिट कितना हुआ. सो दीज आर द पॉइंट दैट मेक्स द बिजनेस. हम लोगों को पता चल रहा है कि हमारा बिजनेस अगर सेल अच्छा नहीं है, इफ माई सेल इज नॉट गुड, सो व्हाट शुड आई डू टू इंक्रीज माई सेल? either I should put discounts, or I should put some offers basically, so that increase my sale. So these are the reports that we will make. एंड जो भी चीज आपके बिजनेस को डिफाइन करती है, अभी फॉर इंस्टेंस आप किराने की शॉप पे हो, kirana ki shop, a grocery shop, and that person is definitely not earning well. If he is not making profit, he will either shut the shop or he will put some offers into his grocery shop. Okay, same goes here also. If some product is not working properly, they will concentrate on that product, which we as data analyst will make a report on that. गॉट इट? डेटा मिला है हमको, डेटा पे रिपोर्ट निकालना है, इनसाइट्स निकालनी है, मतलब अंदर से इस फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर डेटा वी हैव टू गेट द इनसाइट एंड वी हैव टू showcase our talent as data analyst and take out the positive as well as negative points and make a report out of it so that businesses can take a decision. So जो मेजर पॉइंट्स है, जैसे आपके लिए क्वांटिटी, डिस्काउंट, प्रॉफिट, टोटल नंबर ऑफ कस्टमर्स, ओके, how many products have been sold, what is the maximum product that has been sold so far. So these becomes your KPIs. ओके, जो कि वेरी होंगे डिफरेंट डिफरेंट बिजनेसेस के लिए। ये बिजनेस के लिए ये वाले केपीआईज है मेजरली, और भी केपीआईज निकल सकते हैं। जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज केपीआई। केपीआई इज बेसिकली की परफॉर्मेंस इंडिकेटर, मतलब तुम्हारे मेन पॉइंट्स जहां पर तुम्हारा समझ में आ रहा है कि तुम्हारा बिजनेस कहां पर जा रहा है। You are getting to know where your business is heading towards. Are you making profit, loss, whatever it is? See, we don't have to do anything with the profit and loss. We just have to make analysis, we have to make reports and share it to our end user so that they can do the analysis on that. And that is why we are here for, and that is why we are learning Power BI, so that we can give meaningful reports to our stakeholders, to our end user. So it becomes easy for you to understand. So guys, don't get confused by hearing some different words. मतलब वही होता है, is just that the meaning, the words are little bit different. Try to understand that word, break down that words, and so that it is easily understood. Okay, so don't worry. And today we have just done the theory part. We will do a demonstration on Power BI, how to get data, how to do analysis, how to make reporting. We'll learn that as well. Don't worry. So guys, let us stop here.